Hey, it's your girl Meek, and I'm back with another episode of the Pick Meek Podcast. I'm your host, Meek, and today I'm going to talk about why the movement is changing on my podcast. When I first started this podcast, my ultimate goal was to save women who shared my reflection from being brainwashed by the perpetual victimhood of the sisterhood. But I have learned very difficultly, after several hundred comments, several hundred hours, and countless useless conversations, that Black women don't want to be saved.
Don't save her. She don't wanna be saved. Don't save her. She don't wanna be saved.
I have learned that the sisterhood is much stronger than my sisterhood, and that it is a waste of my time to speak to the sisterhood. My whole goal was to create a Black woman who advocated for Black men from the Black male talking points. That was my goal, right? Oh my God, I'm so laughy, and this is like my third take, but I really have to get this out. So, my idea came along during the Kevin Samuels run, right? I loved KS, RIP the Godfather. I absolutely loved KS, and there were so many things that I learned from him and his platform that I just assumed that Black women were unable to digest because most of us didn't have strong male figures, so we would be caught up on his tone and not the message. And I wanted to be the person that could decipher between the two. I wanted to be, let's say like the dictionary. There's a word for this, but I can't think of any because whenever I record, I can't think of any of my really fancy words. But I wanted to be the breakdown. I wanted to be, okay, this is what he said, and this is what we need to do, and this is how we need to interpret. What I have learned is that Kevin did as good as he could, and regardless of how he would have wrapped it up, Black women still would have had the response that they would have had. Black women don't want to be saved. Black women do not see an issue with the current problems that we are suffering from, therefore they do not see a reason to fix the issue. Actually trying to speak to the sisterhood and these demographic of women who hate Black men is by far the biggest waste of time. It'll actually save you in your life and your heart and your stress levels if you found other things to do, like play in traffic. It is actually healthier to play in traffic than to discuss Black issues and the reason why the Black community is the way it is with Black women. Overall, in my own experience, since I've started my own platform, I've had thousands of conversations with Black women, more so in comment form because I articulate myself better in written form than I do verbally or while I'm recording myself. Like, I'm just really not comfortable with being in front of the camera, and that's one of the reasons why I don't put content out as much as I would like to. But I find this position to be very difficult for multiple reasons, one of which Black women are mean. Black women try to act like they're not mean, but the second that you say something that a Black woman does not like, she targets you in the way that you look. And I have body dysmorphia, so I'm hard enough on myself looking in the mirror. I do not need other people to be hard on me when I go online. So it's just certain things that I'd much rather not do, and talk to Black women has become one of them. I understand every day why we lost our good brother KS due to a heart attack, because Black women are stressful. Talking to Black women is stressful, and trying to get them to have any other understanding about the Black men other than he sucks is by far one of the most stressful things that I could do with my time. And guys, I became a single mom at 18, and I honestly find motherhood on my own, raising a baby as a baby, to be easier than having some of the conversations that I attempt to have with Black women. And that's really sad to say. I have learned in this experience of trying to have this platform that black women only believe black women who agree with their propaganda and their thought process. If you share any opinions on the other opposing side of theirs, they only have negative things to say about you. Some of the things that I hear personally said to me, I have been called a misogynist. I am called a pick me on a regular basis. The amount of hate I have for myself is really ridiculous. Black women tell me every day that I should go to therapy. Which is crazy because I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy since 2018. And my therapist is a black woman who's married to a black man and who advocates for all of the things that I advocate for. So a lot of the conversations that I do want to discuss on my platform, her and I do have, and we share a common agreement on that. I don't see a therapist that's a part of the sisterhood. So because my therapist isn't a part of the sisterhood think that I need more therapy. Like, she's not teaching you to hate black men. You need a new therapist. And I'm actually exhausted. I'm exhausted. In the process of trying to build this platform, I'm also trying to work on myself on a daily basis, because I'm not just out here giving out tips on how to improve yourself and how to be better. A lot of what I suggest are things that I am doing myself. I've been in therapy since 2018. I can't leave because I have an underlying issue that will keep me in therapy for a good majority of my life. I have no issue discussing that. I am very self-aware. Working on my femininity is something that I have been doing since I've started therapy, and just trying to become an overall better person. I am on a Jesus journey, building my spiritual relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. Been on a fitness journey since 2017. I understand fully that in order for me to keep a healthy mind and a healthy body, I'm gonna have to work out for the rest of my life. Again, anything that I would suggest for a woman to do on this platform is something that I'm doing for myself. All of those things tie in together of my desire of wanting to be a wife and a mother. I'm already a mother, but I'm not a wife. And my goal is to become a wife. I am so sick and tired of talking to women who do not have that desire, okay? The amount of women who I talk to who would want to be with a black man anyway. Wow. I actually had a woman tell me who would want to be with a black man, and she married to a black man. Literally, that was just a comment I just read. And she a PhD too, y'all. So, you know, Kevin would have had a lot to say about her. But that's not a conversation that I'm willing to have. All I will be doing moving forward is showing the characteristics of women that none of us need to associate with, and that we need to be segregating ourselves from. It is actually detrimental to the black community to keep allowing spaces and room for people who hate us and hate the people that created us. We'll never be able to grow as a whole, as a people, if we keep trying to struggle them along or even try to teach them. That's not for me to do.
Distract me, sister. Did Satan send you to carousel to distract me from my God-given responsibilities? I said, I rebuke you. Don't you distract me, sister. Did Satan send you to carousel?
And everything in me, I have like this superhero complex, and it's one of the things that comes in my black woman package. I think that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, but as a black woman, I feel like I can take on more tasks than most. I feel like because I have this hard exterior, allegedly, that I can take on the world similar to Superman. And most black women have this complexity about themselves, and because I am deciding finally that I want to set my feminine energy, I know in order for me to be able to do that, I can no longer have these conversations with black women who hate black men. It triggers me to have those conversations. It makes me very angry. And the last thing that I would ever want is to be a woman that reflects herself in the light of the women that black men hate. I don't want to be loud and combative on the internet. I don't want to have to talk down onto one of my fellow sisters because she sounds stupid. I don't want to have to do that. So instead of stressing myself out and digging myself an earlier grave, I just don't have anything to say to any of those women. If men suck and you haven't met a man worth respecting, sorry sis, be over there. I literally don't have any advice for you as a woman who only know good men, good black men, and black men worth respecting. I don't know what it's like to have a life like that. I am the product of two black people, okay? A lot of where I am now is because of my father and my father's family. So I could never sit anywhere on the internet and speak poorly about black men because a black man was my primary parent. I can never sit on the internet and disrespect black men because my father had 4 brothers that were a part of my upbringing. Every value, every reflection of a good black man that I look for in the man that I would want to add myself to, they have to have the characteristics of the men that raised me and the men that I'm surrounded around. So I can never sit anywhere and disrespect them. And I know that these men walk the planet. Every single one of my black uncles, every single one of my uncles that my father had, it's not nothing that they wouldn't do for me. Nothing. It's not a phone call I can't make or they would not come through for me. So I would never, ever sit anywhere and disrespect them. I'm a mother to a black son. And a lot of the times when I hear y'all spew these arguments, I can only help but to think that y'all talking about my child that I carry. And it's no way I'm gonna sit up here and believe that somebody that I gave my life up for doesn't hold value. He's not worth respecting. Why? Because he black and why? And y'all don't be specific and say the black men that I've encountered and the black men that I know. Y'all go out on a limb and y'all comfortably say most black men don't hold value. Y'all say most black men aren't worth being respected. And I'm letting you know I haven't met too many of those men. And because I feel disrespected when women make those statements, I find it difficult to have those conversations. And in order for me to be in the frame that I want to be in, I can no longer have those conversations. Moving forward, I will only be speaking to women who desire to be the wives of black men. I will only be speaking to the women who see the importance of uplifting our community and building strong families. I will not be discussing anything with any woman that has nothing but hate to say about the men that share my reflection, because there's nothing for us to discuss. We have 2 different experiences, and there's nothing that I can tell you. There's nothing that I can tell you that's going to make you want to change your mind about black men. You're forever going to hate them. Your experiences is your reality. And if in your reality, all you do is attach yourself to men who showed you that they had nothing to lose, no value, no ability to provide, no way to face their adversities in life, who am I to tell you that there are better men out there? I'm tired of having that conversation. I'm exhausted. If that's what you know, stick to it. All I'm gonna suggest moving forward is that you do the best that you can to segregate yourself from women like me. We can call me the Pick Meeks. If that's the title you want to give us, women who value black men, their strength, you admire them, and you want them a part of your life, yes, we will respectfully be called Pick Meeks. But we need to give a title to you women. I'll just personally call you the sisterhood. I don't want anything to do with any woman that associates herself with the sisterhood. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your sister. I don't care if you want to support. I don't care. I don't care. Black men ask often. Why aren't black women having these conversations? We are. We are. Our voices are not as loud as the sisterhood. We do not have the spectrum. We do not have the audience. We do not have the support as much as the sisterhood has. And the sisterhood that hates men. We don't have that push. You have to understand that that's been going on since feminism first began, since those white women convinced us that their problems were our problems. That's how long this cycle has been going on. We all get choices because anything that our parents didn't give us is our responsibility to go out and get. And you would think because most of our mothers didn't provide us with fathers, that somebody would have realized at some point that it had to be the choices that we were making and not the particular men. But most women don't understand that. And after having several hundred conversations and becoming extremely exhausted, it's like, a lot of women's reality is just their reality. And I don't want to change nobody's mind. I don't want to change anybody's mind. I sure as hell don't want to force you women who hate black men into pretending like, because the last thing that I would want is for a black man that I love to end up with a woman who absolutely hates him because I talked to her and showed her how to be deceiving enough to get him to give her what she wants. I would hate that. So instead of teaching all women how to get a man, I'm only teaching the ones who want to be beside a black man. I'm only here to shine a light on myself and help women who, from making my mistakes, who know that they don't want to end up like me. If your goal is to be a single mom who had a baby with a stranger, who won't possibly be able to get a husband because of her choices in her past, then by all means, don't listen to me. Like if your goal is to end up like I am right now, 30, single mom, no horizon of having a man, don't listen to me. If that's your goal, don't listen to me because I want a man, sis. I think being single is stupid. I think trying to raise a family by myself is by far one of the most ghetto things that I could do. But the number one ghetto thing I did was try to talk to black women and convince the sisterhood that the sisterhood is broken. You cannot convince you women of that. You women like struggling. I do. After all the comments I have encountered via Instagram, overall, it's the same thing. Like, I made a comment on a sisterhood post in response to the Tyler Perry. She had a response to that, and I broke down what he was saying. Ultimately, and I did a video. Ultimately, if you are a boss babe, you are supposed to be the provider of a home. You cannot be a hypergamist if you're a boss babe. You have to sit that down, okay? It's no reason to have two large incomes in the house at one time, especially as black people, because as black people, we need to be focusing on building the community. And if we're gonna build the community, it doesn't make sense for us to take our two best people and put them in a relationship. It just doesn't. It makes no sense because the children are still going to be at a disadvantage. And if it's a woman that you want to be a part of your life, she has to understand that the family has to come first. And in order for the family to come first, we can't have two people working 80-hour weeks. We just can't. The children still suffer that way. Okay? The children suffer. So realistically, we have to be thinking, what can we do to best build these families? Yes, I'm not saying that we need to be broke, but I'm saying we need to be building collectively together. And building doesn't look like two successful people coming together. Building looks like people coming together at the bottom and starting from zero and then building themselves up. that's not a goal of yours, if that is not a goal of yours, if standing beside a black man is not a goal of yours, sis, this ain't the space for you. I don't have nothing to say to you. Turn this video off now. If you do not think black men are worthy, sis, this is not a video for you. Turn this video off now. Block me, unsubscribe, do not share. Like, I don't want you here. I don't want you here.